Finally got around to seeing Twisters, my most anticipated movie of the year. Man, I was looking forward to this. And it didn't it didn't disappoint. I got some things to talk about that weren't the best, but it didn't disappoint. If you like just a good popcorn movie and things getting destroyed, Twister's your movie. It's well acted. Who doesn't love Glenn Powell at this point? He's fantastic. I actually could have used more Glenn Powell. I wish he was more of the main character. The main character actually is Daisy Edgar Jones, and she's okay in this, but she doesn't pop off the screen like Helen Hunt in the original Twister pops. She pops off the screen. Daisy doesn't really. She's kind of just she doesn't have the most charisma in this movie. It's not exactly the best part either. I guess she plays a character that kind of like Helen Hunt's, where trauma. The first scene in the movie is a big traumatic event, encountering F5. A lot of people close to her are killed, just like Helen Hunt and Twister. This movie has a lot of parallels, by the way. It's very they followed the Twister formula almost too much, probably too much to be honest. But yeah, traumatic event, and then she's kind of haunted by it the rest of the movie. So she's kind of a bummer of a character. So it's not exactly the most fun. Or Glenn Powell gets to wear a cowboy hat and be a like a famous YouTube streamer, storm chaser character. He gets to have a ball while she kind of gets anchored down with the emotional weight of the story. But yeah, let's get into the similarities, if you will. I won't call it rip off because this is a legacy sequel, so it's not like you can't really rip off something you're a sequel to. But I don't think they should have done everything the same, and they kind of did. Like Top Gun Maverick, that took Top Gun into a whole nother level. But it wasn't even close to the same storyline of Top Gun. They just built on top of it. This is damn near the identical storyline, man. Again, main character female suffers traumatic event in the first scene. Now has a problem with F5s. Cool, we got it. Parallel. The plot of the movie is the main character female building some technology. In the first one, it was building Dorothy. Helen Hunt puts little balls into the tornado so you can track them and like get all the statistics on the tornado. This one, she's building it's like canisters of like stuff that diapers are made out of, and it go like a coolant, and it goes into the tornadoes. And it's supposed to like collapse the tornadoes. You got to get rid of them, save lives. Cool, but you see how it's the same thing. You just technology inserting into, and it enters the tornado the exact same way. Canisters lifting up. So yeah, it just didn't have to be so similar. Also, we got a rival storm chasing team, like just exactly the same as the Cary Elwes, Yules, however you pronounce his name, from the original Twister. The original Twister had a grandma. This one, Daisy's got her mom. It's very similar. Very similar. But disregarding the over similarities, I would have liked, again, more of an original story. But whatever. It still worked. It was still good. Still a lot of fun. The Twisters looked fantastic. All of them. The problem is the 96 version Twister looked so good and still looks so good that you can't say this was a humongous upgrade. But it was an upgrade, just not a humongous one, and that's more a compliment to Twister than it is an insult to Twisters, if you know what I mean. I think my biggest problem with the actual effects was the sound. The sound. Besides the opening scene and then some small moments, it never sounded like you were right next to a tornado. Where if you go back and watch the original Twister, you could hear it. Because they always say it sounds like a train is coming. And it does. I've heard a few tornadoes before. It sounds like a fucking train is going by. You never get that. Except maybe, I think, a little in the opening scene. Besides that, it just sounds windy. I don't think it takes away from the fear, like the true intensity and power like the original Twister movie had. Those tornadoes you could fucking hear. This one, not so much. Especially when they had like a country song playing during one of them. It was getting drowned out by a country song, and it's supposed to be like a big intense tornado moment. So again, nitpicking here. Overall, hell of a lot of fun. A little too similar to the original, and it never truly felt like the heroes, the two main characters, were in that much peril. But there were deaths. There were deaths. Like the original Twister, there weren't really. There was just her dad in the opening scene in the original, and then the Carrie's team, Carrie Ells, his squad. I think they get lifted into the air into a tornado and get killed. Besides that, no one really dies. Here, some side characters get just pulled away, gone. Not just the opening scene, but like throughout the movie, it happens. So that was pretty cool. And there was no flying cow. Some people I know are gonna be pissed off about that. No flying cow. They did give us kind of like a nod to that. They gave us chickens. Again, similar, maybe too similar. But overall, I thought it worked. A lot of fun. Not quite as good. I will be honest, not quite as good as I expected. When I heard about this, I thought I would end up giving this like an A minus. Instead, I give this a B minus. About 3.5 stars out of 5 if you want to do it that way. Whichever makes you feel better. Good. Definitely going to rewatch. Very rewatchable. A lot of fun. But some small minor issues. Too many similarities. A little dry character-wise, except for Glenn Powell. Everyone else was pretty dry. There was no Philip Seymour Hoffman here, like the original had to kind of help us out. All the side characters very forgettable. Anthony Ramos as Javi, her buddy. He was dry. Even had the same. They have like ulterior motives with a corporation, just like the original had. Again, basically the same movie, just updated. And Glenn Powell gets to wear a cowboy hat. Let me know what you guys think of Twisters down below. Which one do you prefer, Twister or Twisters? I gotta lean Twister. I think I gave Twister an A minus. I thought this would also be in the A minus level. Instead, it's more a B minus. Still good, and hopefully they'll make a sequel to the sequel. I'd be here for it.